Okay, wasn't that an unexpected treat? Um, Vikings start the season 1-0, absolutely dominated the Giants, 28-6. Um, we had them booing. We had them booing. Granted, it's New York fans, so they're apt to boo anyway. We had them booing like crazy. Um, absolute clinic, really on both sides of the ball. I mean, it's like you know, there's not too much to complain about, and we have to temper this because obviously, you know, this was on paper certainly one of our easier games. The Giants are not good. We saw again that Daniel Jones is not good. I I I hate Ed Donatel even more now because he let that trash ass fucking quarterback ruin one of the most fun seasons in Vikings history a couple years ago. Um, so this was a slight bit of revenge for that. Um, but yeah, this. I mean, I haven't done one of these in a while. Where I begin? The big takeaway that I took from this game, just watching the full squad for the first time. This is the fastest Vikings team that I've maybe ever seen. We got team speed now, man. We are fast. We just had guys flying around on defense. Everybody was kind of getting involved. We had you know you know run game much better. This is the template. This is what I hope that coming into the season. Like kind of minimal hope, really, that they can be a playoff team or certainly compete anything higher than that. But if they can, this is the template. You're not going to be able to do 28-6. You're not going to be able to get multiple picks and like 5, 6 sacks. A couple turnovers on downs. You're not going to be able to do that against everybody. Like next week we got the 49ers, then we got Houston. You're not going to be able to do it against those teams, but this is year 2 of Brian Flores, and he's got a lot more his type of personnel in there. This is what it can be. Um, you know, Obviously it didn't look. We had a horrible start. We first drive of the game. We get a Ed Ingram gets us. Blows a block and gets Darnold sacked, and then C.J. Ham. I'm wearing the Ham jersey, and he fumbled the ball. So we had another first drive turnover. We had like 5 or 6 of those last year where we turned the ball over on the first drive. It was just ridiculous, and you're just watching, just like, oh God, here we go again. This is going to happen again, but it didn't. We righted the ship. We only gave up a field goal after that, and we really righted the ship. We got the offense going. Darnold got in a rhythm. We did much better pass blocking. I think Darnold only got sacked once. I think it was just that one sack. I might be wrong. I only kind of glanced at the stats before I hit record. But Darnold looked good. Again, this is the hope coming into the season. Like, can KOC and offensive coaches and the game plan, can they tap into what Darnold can do? And I think this is kind of the template for what we can hope they can do with Darnold. Again, it's not always going to be like this, but the Giants have a pretty damn good pass rush. So it's we kind of picked apart their secondary at times, but you know their front is pretty good, and we held our own. And Darnold looked good. He had the one interception in the second half where his arm was hit as he threw, flew up for grabs. It could have just as easily been caught or gone incomplete. But he played well. He had a couple really nice throws. He had that first deep shot to Jefferson was really nice. That little one along the sidelines to Jalen Naylor for a touchdown, that was really nice. Like you know, he didn't like run around much. They didn't get him out of the pocket much, but he looked the part of, like, I don't want to use the term game manager because that's not really even something that you do anymore. But he looked like a guy who can be, a capable starting quarterback for a team that can contend. Um, so I think you have to come away from this game with a lot of um, with a lot of encouragement about Sam Darnold. Run game, Aaron Jones. He didn't quite get 100 yards, I don't think. but he got over 90. He was in there, you know, running well, running very well. That little touchdown run, it's just a short run, but boy, that showed how much of an upgrade we've got over Alexander Madison, because the way he bumped that thing outside and was able to catch the corner of the end zone. Alexander Madison ain't doing that last year for us at all. Um, and he caught a few passes out of the backfield too, and and again, fast, like speed. We got guys who can move. Um, so often we would have like plotting guys in recent years. Just we would just you would see it in games. We would just seem like we're playing in mud or something. It's just it, but not today. Um, but yeah, Aaron Jones looked very good. Passing or like passing stats weren't big. Like no, I think Jefferson was the leading receiver. He did get the one touchdown. Like that they went for the fourth and goal. I think the two, just a quick dart to JJ. Um, 99-yard drive. That was the first time since the the Gus Frerotte 99-yard rainbow touchdown to Bernard Berrian against the Bears in '08 at the Dome that we had a 99-yard drive. And of course that was a one play drive. This was like an actual drive. But yeah, very 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 efficient. I think this is, again, I'm going to use the word template again. It was the template of what we kind of want to see. Um, and yeah, this that was just a terrific drive, and I love that they went for the 4th and 2, because at that point your defense is playing well. They were only up 7-3 at that point, but your defense is playing really well. Put some trust in them that even if you don't go get it, that they're gonna stop. You're gonna stop them and get the ball back pretty quick. Um, but yeah, Darnold played very well, very efficiently. I'm not even, again, he had the one pick, but I don't even really put that on him. It's just a thing where an arm gets hit. It's one of those things. Sometimes interceptions are entirely the fault of the quarterback, like Daniel Jones today, and sometimes it's just bad break. Um, you know, but especially for a guy who's been like a bust in the NFL to this point, like if he can rebound from that and not turn the ball over and be efficient, like that's all you need. Like maybe he's not capable of ever being like a superstar quarterback or worthy of the number 3 overall draft pick, but it's okay. Like that's not what we need. We need a guy who can just be a solid, capable starting quarterback this season, and then we can make decisions after the season about what to do. They're interviewing Darnold on the TV right now. But yeah, was it 19 to 24, 208, 2 TDs and a pick? Like those aren't mind-blowing stats, but it's very efficient. I think he started like 12 out of 12 or something like that. One of the drawbacks is that they didn't do. I was hoping they were going to do a little better job in the second half of kind of putting it away on offense. Um, you know, but it did become a comfortable win. This was the first time we've won by this many points, by over 20 points in 5 years since we went to played the Chargers in 2019 and blew them out. Like it's rare. Like and there was a brief little period there in the third quarter where we looked like, oh boy, are we going to start to put them back into it, because it was like 21-6. And then we had like a drive where we had to burn a couple timeouts because we weren't prepared for things, or like the play clock was coming down. Some of that stuff is like week one, you know, rust and confusion. But then that was when Giants get the ball back, and Andrew Van Ginkel, Rip Van Ginkel, gets Granted, it's a terrible throw by Tim Jones, but it does take a good play to be able to catch that from that distance at that, you know, like it happened so fast. I was looking down at the phone and like, oh, what? We got a pick six? All right. and that was pretty much it. And even Dable was kind of waving the white flag after that. I think they punted on their next drive, and then even when they did have a drive then in the fourth quarter where they got in the red zone, and they weren't even really hurrying, because I just think they were like, okay, we're cooked, we're gonna lose. And then Harry the Hitman got an interception in the end zone to seal it, and I like that we didn't just just kind of concede giving up the garbage touchdown because hey, that's great. You didn't give up a touchdown. Um, how often does that happen where you don't give up a single touchdown in the NFL? Anytime you can do it, and I'm feeling very, very happy right now. I'm not going to overblow this because it was the Giants. It was Daniel Jones, who, unless he's facing Ed Donatel, is a terrible fucking quarterback. He's just not very good. He's not even a starting quarterback, and he might not be the starting quarterback. I don't even know who the Giants' backup is now. Um, who was it? Tommy DeVito was their quarterback last year. I think that was when they beat the Packers that one game. I don't know if he's even their backup now or who it is, but um, and in his defense, and just to defend him a little bit, there were some drops in there, but a lot of it was just really inaccurate, and you could tell like very early in the game that Flores had really rattled Jones, and he just was not feeling good, not confident at all. Um, you know, and it's good because we had a pass rush. We had an actual pass rush, and Flores didn't have to get a pass rush by blitzing every goddamn play. We actually got a pass rush because we have pass rushers. I mean, we got what, 5 sacks. Dallas Turner just consumed him on 1 sack for his first NFL sack. Patrick Jones got one at the end, so he got 2. Who got the other ones? Bernard, I think, might have gotten one. And I forget who got the other one. I think we got 5 total. Um, um, but we had a lot. Everybody was kind of getting in there. Everybody had plays. Like Metellus had a really good play. Bullard had one. Like attack for loss, really good. Everybody was kind of contributing, and it was really fun to see. And it doesn't matter the competition because guess what? The Bengals went out there today and got beat at home by the New England Patriots. I don't know if the game's final yet, but the Bills were getting pushed in Buffalo by the Cardinals. Like you can't just write off any game as like, oh well, look at the competition, because any team can come up and get you. Um, but yeah, I mean, again, this defense isn't going to be able to do this every week because the competition is going to be better in a lot of games. But just to know that you can do it, like to know that you have the capability, and hopefully they'll get a little better because I mean, you could tell in the game that there were still a lot of leaks in that secondary. Um, you know, uh, you know, guys were open and Jones just couldn't find him because we had the pass rush, or he was just inaccurate. We still have some leaks out there in the secondary. A couple guys made some plays, but it wasn't like this wasn't a game where like, oh, we're making all these great plays in the secondary. It was mostly that front that was really getting after Jones. But we can work on that. I mean, hell, this was, like Stephon Gilmore. This was the first time he had literally played, actual game action with the Vikings. Um, and what Shaq Griffin hadn't played, I think, in the whole preseason. So it's like, hopefully they get a little more acclimated, and that improves, and they can keep this pass rush going, keep healthy. I think the only major injury, is Jordan Addison he left with the ankle, which was what had him uncertain about maybe playing in week 1. But he got out there. I know he caught a couple passes, but then he got hurt. We'll see. Jalen Naylor made a nice catch on that touchdown. Um, so we'll see what happens as far as that goes. But Will Riker perfect on kicks. Um, who have I forgotten to single out? I get to single out almost the whole team because almost everybody did something. Ty Chandler had some nice runs there in the second half. They were kind of spelling Jones a little bit. You know, I just think you come into this week 1, really the whole season. Like I'm coming into this season not thinking the Vikings are going to make the playoffs, but you want to have the hope that they're going to make the playoffs and be able to be a team that can be competitive and have that as an option. I think you gotta come away from this game, you know, understanding the competition, but you gotta come away from uh, from watching this game incredibly encouraged that this can be a season. This can be a season where you don't just we don't just have to just wallow in misery because we lost our first round draft pick quarterback, or we've had other injuries, and oh, this division's going to be so tough. Well, I mean, the Bears won, but they were terrible, and Caleb Williams was terrible. Another notch in the hey, QB wins is not a stat argument. Um, you know, Jordan Love's out for a while in Green Bay. Lions are playing tonight, but I mean, maybe this division could be a little more in play than we think. And if you can, again, this is here's the word again, the template. If you can do this, if you can play efficient at quarterback, run the ball well, play good defense, get a couple turnovers. Like, you don't have to be flashy to win games. It is possible to do it this way, and hopefully we can do it this way, because I would love it if we can get 17 weeks of quality play like we saw today. And it's not always going to work out this way. We're not going to go 17-0. We're going to play tougher games. We're going to have, Darnold's going to have worse games. We're going to have games where the defense gets picked apart more, because that's just how it is. But just the knowledge that we can do this, that we do have a team that is capable of doing this, of really shutting down an offense. And I know it's Daniel Jones, but it's not like they're devoid of offensive weapons over there. They've got a coach who's a good offensive coach. You know, and it's a road game. I know we basically turned it into a home game. You could hear the skull chants the whole second half on the TV. Um, and obviously, then once you kind of get the fans booing, then they're all turning on you. Um, but you know, there's no, if this proves to be a 1 week fluky thing just because of the competition, okay, so be it. But we can enjoy it for this 1 week, even if it is. So I think every Vikings fan, whether you came into the season thinking, hey, we're going to surprise some people, or if you came to the season like me thinking, this is probably not going to be much of a season, I think you got to come away from this feeling very, very, very good and very encouraged and very hopeful that this can be something, that this can be a fun season. Um, and we'll go from there. So we got, we get to be in first place. If nothing else, we get to be tied for first for a week, and the Packers get to be in last place for a week. So if nothing else, we get to enjoy it for a week. But yeah, next week. So next week we get the 49ers in here for the home opener. And now after this performance, everyone's going to be a little more encouraged and hyped up for the home opener. We beat them last year. Here. Um, you know, with a defense that, even though the defense was still playing pretty good at that point, you know, looks like we maybe have a better defense this year. And if we can get good efficient offense, and again, it's the template, everybody. um I think, we'll see what we can do, because boy, now, we've got we got two tough home games. I don't we got Houston after that. Houston was like a neck and neck with the Colts. I don't know what happened in that game yet. um but that'll be a tough game. And then, we're going to be going into Lambeau then at the last week of the month, um to face Malik Willis. So hey, we got a shot to grab a few wins here now in September. And again, I think the schedule is a little easier in the second half of the season. So if you can pile up a few wins early, play well. Obviously, we're going to be, you're going to be your most healthy early in the season. You know, I think we got a shot. This was a very, very encouraging start to the season. So night and day from last season, where we lost a miserable week one game, and then it snowballed for a few weeks before it started to turn around a little bit. There was very little time even last season to feel good about anything with the Vikings, because even when you felt good, then it was like, okay, here's Kirk's Achilles exploding. And yes, I saw all the fucking comments from the Vikings fans today, reveling in the fact that Kirk Cousins and the Falcons lost. They showed just the very, very end of the game, after the Vikings game. Obviously didn't play good. Who cares? That's not my concern right now. My concern is the Vikings. My concern is my team. I hope things get better for him. remember that was his first game action since October of last year. So, and against a good defense, T.J. Watt is a beast. But well, I'm not too worried about that. I'm worried about my team, but I'm not worried about my team because we played very very well today. 28-6, kicked the Giants' ass. Got a little bit of revenge for that playoff game. Ed Donatel, I will. He's one of the most hated figures in the history of the Vikings for me. The fact that he let that trash quarterback end that fucking fun season of 2 years ago. But maybe we're going to have a fun season in 2024 with Sam Darnold slinging Sammy Darnold and Aaron Jones running around and Brian Flores making this defense elite. And again, it's the template. This is what I want. Give me this kind of football all year long, and I will be a very, very happy person. So I'm going to cut it off here because I've said all that needs to be said. But all Vikings fans should be very, very happy today because we had a really fun start to the season, and we might have actually, surprisingly, maybe to some, we might actually have a pretty good football team.